Have you ever noticed how the air feels colder in certain places, how sounds suddenly stop? What would it feel like if, the moment you stepped in, you sensed that something was terribly wrong? In the darkness of night, the creaky structures of the amusement park seemed to whisper, as if the laughter that once filled this place is still echoing in the wind. How about you? If you were here, would you be scared? A group of adventurers decided to muster up the courage to visit this abandoned amusement park. They weren't scared of the rumors or the stories. They simply wanted to explore the old rides. But none of them would ever forget what happened that night. At first, everything seemed fine. The Ferris wheel, the ticket booths, everything looked intact. But then one person noticed something strange. The Ferris wheel started to move. At first, they ignored it, thinking it was just the wind. Then that person heard something, a whisper, a sound so distant it was barely audible. Have you ever heard something like that? Something that made you freeze in place? They split up to investigate further. But that whisper, it started coming from every corner. Nothing was normal. The rides, the booths, all seemed abandoned. But then, something truly terrifying happened. Suddenly, the Ferris wheel started moving on its own. Not a single person was on it, yet it turned faster than ever. And then, someone saw a figure. But was it real? Or was it something else? With the wind howling, the figure started to emerge. The group didn't know what to think. Was it a person? Or something more sinister? There was something wrong. It was like time had warped. The lights flickered. The Ferris wheel spun uncontrollably. And that figure, it got closer. Can you imagine being in their shoes? What would you do if you saw that figure coming closer? The group, now terrified, began to notice something else. There was a deep, dark pit near the edge of the park. No one had seen it before, but as they got closer, it became clear this pit had a dark history. It was the last place anyone had seen those who vanished from the park. And then something worse happened. From that pit, something began to emerge, something that shouldn't have been. One by one, the group began to hear footsteps, strange whispers, and the sound of something crawling toward them. One by one, they tried to run, but as they fled, they realized that the pit wasn't just a hole. It was something far more terrifying. The last person to see it ran, but no one really knows what happened to them. And the others, the ones who survived, they never spoke a word about that night. So what would you have done if you were there? Would you have stayed, or would you have fled the moment you heard that whisper? Is there really something still out there in that abandoned park, or was it all just a trick of the mind? Was this story true or just another ghost story? I guess we'll never know, but one thing's for certain, no one seems to visit that park anymore. Until next time, stay safe and beware of the darkness.